300 Spartans stood against 1,000,000 Persians, or so the legend goes. But what if I told you the real Battle of Thermopylae was even crazier than Hollywood's version? The truth? No black capes, no rhinos, and definitely no god King Xerxes, towering over men like a demon.
So, what really happened at the Hot Gates? In 480 BC, a narrow pass called Thermopylae, meaning Hot Gates, for its sulfur springs, became the stage for one of history's most epic last stands. The Greeks faced an empire that stretched from India to Egypt, led by a king obsessed with conquest.
Persia's armies darkened the horizon, their banners fluttering under a merciless sun. But the story you know, the one with oiled muscles and CGI blood, that's a myth polished by Hollywood. The real tale is grittier, bloodier, and far more human. Let's peel back the layers and uncover a story of courage, betrayal, and sacrifice that echoes through time.
Okay, let's get this out of the way. Zack Snyder's 300, awesome movie. Terrible history. I mean, come on. Leonidas fighting in a leather Speedo, Xerxes as a 9-foot-tall pierced demigod, and don't even get me started on the Immortals with their Darth Maul masks. Hollywood took a real brutal last stand and turned it into a heavy metal album cover. Zack Snyder's 2006 film, based on Frank Miller's graphic novel, is a visual feast. Slow-motion spears, blood spraying like modern art, and enough testosterone to fuel a bodybuilding convention. But it's about as accurate as a superhero flick. The real Leonidas wasn't posing for Instagram. He wore a heavy bronze breastplate, greaves, and a helmet that left scars on his face. The Persian immortals? Not masked monsters, but elite soldiers clad in scale armor, carrying Ricker shields, and trained to fight in disciplined ranks. And those rhinos charging into battle? Pure fiction. The Persians didn't have war rhinos, though their elephants were terrifying enough. Hollywood amped up the drama, but the real Thermopylae didn't need CGI to be epic. It was a clash of raw will against overwhelming odds. But here's the wild part. The real story? Somehow even more insane. First off, Spartans weren't just shirtless gym bros. These guys were the Navy SEALs of the ancient world. From age 7, they trained to endure pain, starvation, and theft. Yes, theft. If you got caught stealing cheese as a kid, whipped. Not for stealing, but for getting caught. Sparta was a warrior society unlike any other. They had Jog, their brutal training system, forged boys into machines of discipline. They marched barefoot over rocky hills, slept on beds of reeds, and learned to kill without hesitation. Your teens, they were surviving in the wild, stealing food from farms to prove their cunning. Weakness wasn't an option. Those who failed were cast out or died trying. Spartan women, too, were fierce, trained in athletics and strategy to raise the next generation of warriors. They sent their sons to battle with a chilling command: come back with your shield or on it, meaning return victorious or dead. This wasn't just culture. It was survival in a world where enemies lurked on every border. And their weapons? No flashy CGI swords, just a spear, 8 feet long, and a bronze shield heavy enough to crush a man. Their strength came from muscle memory, honed over decades in the Phalanx, a formation so tight it was like a human tank. One Spartan was worth 100 normal soldiers. But here's the twist. At Thermopylae, there weren't just 300 of them. But Hollywood loved the 300 versus a million reality. Leonidas had at least 700 Greek allies fighting with him. Thespians, Thebans, even slaves, and the Persian million? Probably closer to 150,000. Still insane odds, but not divine intervention levels. The Persian army was a marvel of logistics. Imagine tents stretching for miles, campfires glowing under starry skies, and supply caravans of camels and mules hauling grain, water, and weapons across deserts. War elephants, draped in ornate armor, lumbered through the ranks, their trumpets unnerving even the bravest Greeks. This wasn't just an army, it was a mobile empire. But numbers don't win wars alone. Leonidas commanded 7,000 to 10,000 men, a coalition of city-states united against invasion. The Thespians, from Boeotia, stayed to the end, their courage rivaling Sparta's. Thebans fought under duress, their loyalty questioned but undeniable. Even Helots, Spartan slaves, carried shields into battle. These allies weren't just extras, they held the line alongside Sparta's elite, turning Thermopylae into a Greek stand, not just a Spartan one. Oh, and Xerxes, not a god, just a rich guy who really hated losing. When his first waves of troops got slaughtered, he allegedly cried in frustration. Not exactly the I am eternal vibe from the movies. Xerxes, heir to the Achaemenid Empire, was a strategist who inherited his father Darius's dream of conquering Greece. His tears, recorded by historian Herodotus, reveal Ammon rattled by Spartan defiance, not a divine tyrant. His frustration only grew as the Greeks defied his vast army. Myth number 1. The Spartans fought in an open canyon like gladiators. Nope. They picked Thermopylae, a narrow pass where Persian numbers meant nothing. Picture a zombie horde funneling into a doorway. That's how 300 held the line. Thermopylae was a strategic masterpiece. Towering cliffs on one side, the sea on the other, and a pass so narrow only a few men could stand abreast. The Spartans' Phalanx, with overlapping shields and bristling spears, turned this bottleneck into a fortress. For 2 days, they repelled wave after wave. Medes, Scythia, Scions, even the elite immortals, Persia's finest. The ground grew slick with blood, but the Greeks held firm, their discipline unbreakable. Myth number 2. The famous "this is Sparta" kick never happened. But the real last stand, way darker. After 2 days of slaughter, a local trader showed the Scions a secret path, and that's when things got ugly. Ephialtes, a Greek desperate for Persian gold, revealed a mountain trail that outflanked the Greek position. By night, under flickering torches, he led Xerxes' immortals along this path, sealing the Greeks' fate. This betrayal, not a cinematic kick, turned Thermopylae into a tragedy. Leonidas knew it was over. He dismissed most allies, but kept his 300 Spartans. Why? Because Spartans never retreated. Their law, come home with your shield or on it. So they stood and fought and died. On the third day, surrounded and outnumbered, the Spartans made their final stand. Leonidas, a king in his 60s, led by example, his spear flashing in the dawn light. The remaining Greeks, 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, and a handful of formed a desperate circle atop a hill. They knew death was coming, but surrender wasn't an option. Their shields locked, their voices roared defiance. When their spears shattered, they used swords. When swords broke, they fought with knives. But the Persians, enraged by such resistance, unleashed torrents of arrows, darkening the sky. Leonidas fell finally, pierced by countless shafts, his body a testament to Spartan resolve. But even in death, the Spartans terrified their foes. The Persians, so afraid of this legend, decapitated Leonidas's body, just to prove he was dead. The cost was staggering. Thousands of Persians to kill a few hundred Greeks. That sacrifice burned a message into history. Greece would not bow. So, why does a myth survive? Simple. The Spartans wanted it this way. They turned Thermopylae into propaganda. 300 heroes against the world to scare enemies and inspire allies. And 2,500 years later, it still works. Just ask Frank Miller. Spartan storytellers wove tales of Thermopylae into every corner of Greek culture, etched on coins, sung in heroic poems, painted on vases. They crafted a legend of invincible warriors, a psychological weapon as deadly as any sword. That myth rallied Greece against Persia and shaped its identity. Today, it's everywhere. From 300s red capes to video games, gym slogans, and even history buffs reenacting the battle with replica shields. The Spartan brand endures, proving propaganda is timeless. So next time someone says, "This is Sparta," hit them with the truth. And if you want more real war stories Hollywood got wrong, smash that subscribe button. Because history, it's always wilder than fiction. Thermopylae's legacy lives in a quiet field today, marked by a stone inscribed with the words of poet Simonides. Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie. Those few hundred warriors, Spartan and ally alike, gave everything to save Greece. Their sacrifice inspired a coalition that months later, at Plataea, crushed Persia's invasion. So dive into history. It's bloodier, crazier, and way more human than any movie. Subscribe, hit the bell, and join us to uncover more truths that history tried to bury.